Hello and welcome to update number 14 of this do-it-yourself 30-gallon Nano system. The system is doing absolutely beautiful, and I released a video a few days ago instructing people on how to deal with cyanobacteria. And if you recall from that video, I had some cyanobacteria growing in the hang on the back refugium, and we're going to take a quick look here at the hang on the back refugium. And of course, there is no signs of cyanobacteria. I did not do a water change. I still haven't changed the water on this 30-gallon Nano system for the simple purpose of conducting the experiment on the Miracle Mud. And I simply just replaced the bag of ChemiPure Elite and introduced a new one, and immediately the next day the cyanobacteria was gone. So I'm happy to report that everything is doing well. Also, some of the chaetomorpha from the 90-gallon system, when I broke it down, I brought it over to this tank so as to increase the biodiversity. It's good to switch around some of the sand and stuff like that to ensure that lots of different critters make it into your system. So we're moving on with the update of the system, which I'm excited about. The fact that this particular coral here, it's been through hell and back, and he was sick when I first got him. Those of you who have been following my videos, when I first added him, I think in update number 8, 2-3 days later, this coral developed a disease that is very common with this coral only. It did not affect any other coral in my system, but what I did was that I gave it a freshwater dip with some iodine, which is very good for killing parasites and stuff like that out of the coral. And it's also important that if you're going to do a freshwater dip on your coral, you can definitely do that. It's safer than dipping your fish, but you must ensure that the pH of the water and the temperature is exactly the same on the tank. And I'm gonna do a video of that sort sometime in the future. But as you can see here, that some of the green is actually growing back. So the zooxanthellae, which is the algae that gives it that pigmentation, is coming back. It's opening up nicely. Another thing that I've noticed about the coral itself is that the tentacles are starting to regrow again. So I'm really excited about that, and this is just to show you guys that when you're dedicated and you're patient, because it took approximately 3 weeks for this animal to recover. It no longer has the sponge that was growing on the outside of the tissue and just completely irritating the coral, and it is just recovering absolutely nicely. Now the rest of the tank is doing absolutely awesome. The colors are really brilliant in all of the corals. All of the corals are really opening up really quite well. The rose bubble tip anemone here is actually getting ready to excrete some of its waste. It's gonna start pooing and whatnot, and when it does that, it looks like that. And another thing that I wanted to report was that the bubble coral behind, there's lots of growth, and you can see the color of the bubbles is really nice. And I knew that there was a reason why I did not particularly frag this coral, which I discussed that I was going to do that. I was thinking about fragging the coral and just keeping the part that's healthy. It's approximately 5:30. The lights go off around 7, and when I fed the tank briefly, some of the bubbles kind of retracted and whatnot, but it's really opening up in the front. I'm going to do a future update and showing you guys how well this bubble coral is doing. And in the back, where I wanted to kind of frag the entire skeletal structure that's not growing, I've noticed that there's some growth here on the right side of the coral, and in the back here there's also some growth here of the little bubbles and whatnot. So I'm gonna keep it as is and see if it actually recovers fully. Here's the frog span, not the frog span, I'm sorry, this is the branching hammer, developing some nice coral color. And here is the pom-pom xenia, which I fragged because this coral grows like wildfire, and it was actually growing to the point that some of the hammer tentacles were touching it, and they were having a battle, you know, and you know, I definitely don't want that to happen. And I care more about the hammer than I do about this little guy, which grows rapidly. So I just fragged them, you know, and took off a couple of pieces. By the way, let me tell you this, guys. If you ever have to frag a Xenia of any kind, whether it be the white pom-pom Xenia or regular Xenias, let me tell you, man, these animals stink. If you touch it with your hand, they give off this smell that is just ridiculous. You know, I mean, this animal left a smell on my fingers that I had to wash my hands several times, you know, when I fragged it. But I've since reduced it down to this size. Everything is doing absolutely beautiful. The feather dusters, the trumpet corals, the red mushrooms are growing a lot. You can see some growth back there where this big piece is just the tissue is kind of ripping out of the rock, and it's leaving behind little buds and everything. And quickly, I wanted to show this because since I fed the tank, some of these whatchamacallit, oh, there's a mushroom back up here too. I'm sorry, I just, you know, this tank, when I look at this tank, I get mesmerized, and I might be talking about something and just looking at something else. But the blastomosa here, I remember that there was a brief discussion between, I believe it was Silox, which is, you know, he's got some great videos, guys. Go check him out, Silox. You know, he's got a 75-gallon build. And he leaves great comments, and if I knew him in person, I would really hang out with him. I got nothing but respect for the gentleman because you know, he's in the military and whatnot, and you've got to respect the military, guys. So the blastomosa here, there was a brief discussion about this coral where someone said that the only way that you can frag it is by cutting the skeleton. That's not exactly true. And there was some doubts whether or not this coral buds off, and you can see that there is some new heads growing on it. It does bud off. LPS corals have skeletal structure and large polyps, and the polyps do bud off. I've actually witnessed my hammer coral releasing some of the buds, and if they land on the perfect spot, it will start a new colony of that coral itself. So just wanted to clear that up, and you know, give a quick shout out to Silox. Go check out his channel. Awesome dude. And the blue sponge is just doing beautiful. The acans, the mushrooms, the acans are just showing some really nice color, which the camera just does not capture. And below the blue sponge is the porites coral, which is actually quite different than that of the Christmas tree rock here, which, by the way, something is eating the Christmas tree rock, and I don't know what it is. I've been spending so much time with the 90-gallon system and with my girl and stuff like that, and it's just you can see that something is just eating it up, and eventually I'm going to catch that and do an update on that as well. So all of the corals are doing awesome. This guy is just growing like a beast. And you know, they do grow to 3 times their size within a year, and this guy is going on the 90-gallon system. Once I set it up and it starts to become a reef, I'm going to add this dude there. The mushroom here, the toadstool mushroom, is doing awesome. This coral here has became more of a blue type of color. I mean, the camera just does not capture it, but if you see it in person, the yellow scroll coral really yellowing up really nicely. All the polyps are sticking out and popping out, and the Montiporas, all 3 of them that I have, are doing really well. The Stylophora is doing awesome. I've since moved the zoanthids up here because they really like the light. You know, it depends on the species of zoanthid that you get. The more colorful they are, typically, the more demanding they are of light. And of course, here is my red, this is my prized SPS coral, my red bushy coral. So everything is just doing awesome. Hope you guys have enjoyed the quick update. Stay tuned for many more. You know, many more videos to come, especially on the 90-gallon system. And if you have any questions, comments, concerns, definitely hit me up on the bottom. Enjoy all the conversations I've had and the many friends I've met here on YouTube via my subscribers. So hope you've enjoyed the video. New York Steelo signing out. Until next time, peace.